So this is a young cat. Probably I'm gonna estimate at about a year and a half. Basically, very emaciated, and also very approachable and friendly. So it could be a good candidate for a possible adoption. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to get its shots vaccinated and possibly take it to a low-cost spay or neuter place like PAWS or the SPCA or other various programs that they offer in Philadelphia or in most areas. And basically have to release it if it's not adoptable. But from what I'm seeing so far, it does seem very docile, very friendly. So it looks like it could be a good candidate. With the first thing, if you're able to, basically, just look at it initially, make sure that everything's okay. There's no major wounds or anything. A lot of times, especially in this time, they get into fights. So you just want to do like a quick check. If everything kind of looks okay from what you can see, I always prefer to bathe them when they first come in the house. If it's a younger kitten or a puppy, they do not recommend that you use any anti-flea medicine. They've recently come out with some safer ones, but I was always told to use Dawn soap. And basically everyone has their own technique. The best thing to do, I think, is to basically try and drown out the fleas. So if you see here, and by any means this is an abnormal cat as far as like letting it sit in water, usually they'll freak out. They're not even able to be handled because they're so nervous. This cat, fortunately, it seems like a very sweet cat so far from what we're able to see. So I'm really not having any major problems with him as far as handling. This is basically what you'll see, and so far I don't see any ticks, thank God. This is basically a flea. Another fortunate thing with this cat is it's white fur, most of it, so you can easily see if you see anything abnormal that's not supposed to be there, that most likely is a flea. So what you do is, fleas are very hard to kind of get rid of. So basically, if let them sit in here as long as they can. A lot of times if you have them in the water for a long period of time, they'll start to climb to the area that is not submerged in water, which is the head. So far I don't see any running up to the head so far. So I'm going to start to pick off the fleas that I see, and after I bathe it really good, I'm going to give it an Advantix or Revolution. Revolution is good because it also handles ear mites and other things, other parasitic things that a stray cat especially might be suffering from. And you don't want to bring by any means a cat that you're not sure of into the house with any other cats, especially if it may have leukemia. Leukemia is easily spread from other cats, from the cat to other cats, and you have to be very, very careful with that. Anything that's shared, food bowls, litter box, that's very easily, transmittable from one cat to the other. A FIV cat, which is similar to an HIV cat, it's feline immuno deficiency virus. It's basically the feline version of an HIV cat. Now, that is something that a lot of people are kind of, split with the beliefs. A lot of them don't want to bring a cat that has that into their house, and I understand why, because that could be dangerous. I, fortunately, have not had any problems with that. I do have an FIV cat that I rescued, and other cats, and they did get along very well. Those FIV cats are usually, the way that they are, they can transmit it from one to the other is usually from like mother to kitten, or if they're in some type of a fight, the blood, anything like that. If they're into any type of aggressive fight, really bad fight, that's a way that they can also get it. So that's the first thing you want to do. Tomorrow I'm going to try and go immediately to a local vet that I have, just to do, basic checks, make sure it's FIV and leukemia negative. And if so, then I'm going to get it dewormed, see if it needs some initial vaccinations, which it definitely will, and hopefully adopt this one out. So as soon as she's done with this, we are going to immediately put that Revolution on, which will, basically treat any type of flea infestation or any type of parasitic ear mites, whatever it is. So basically the rule is, just don't have them, quarantine them from other animals if you do have any other animals, and definitely a cat or any animal you bring from the street, most likely it's a no-brainer that they will have some type of a flea, worms, so on and so forth. So you just want to make sure, especially with fleas, that you don't have them around any carpets, rugs, anything like that, because those will definitely, fleas, even if you treat them in the animal, once they get into the carpets, I mean, it can be, especially in a certain type of weather environment with the humidity level and the heat level, definitely can spread very fast, and you just don't need something like that. So you just have to be very careful. So right here, I'm going to assume this is a flea, and rightly so. Basically, a lot of people recommend to remove fleas and ticks with basically a tweezer. And this flea has been actually on this cat for quite some time because it is fairly large. And this cat is just being amazing because this is definitely not how a cat would act that is a stray. So basically, you have to make sure that it is dead. They pop. Sometimes they fly. They jump. They don't fly, but they hop, and they can get into your hair or whatever. You just got to be careful. So I'm going to ask you to please get me any type of disposable container that we can put some alcohol or bleach in, just so that I can make sure that they die once I put them in there, because I just don't want them to get all over the place. Any type of cap that you may have, whatever it is. I just want to be as cautious as possible because we do have other animals and I just don't want to have to deal with that. So basically I'm just trying to drown out most of whatever fleas are on